One of the big ones, Healthcare Quality Improvement Act. The Healthcare Quality Improvement Act provides immunity for physicians and institutions participating in peer review activity, which is called a professional review action in the Healthcare Quality Improvement Act. There are protections from money damages and any kind of other injunctive relief or whatnot like that. There are specific things the peer review process must contain in order to have the protection of the Healthcare Quality Improvement Act. First is a reasonable belief that the action is in the furtherance of quality health care. The disputes in these types of peer review actions always, or very frequently, the doctor that's the subject of the investigation thinks it's a anti-competitive measure by his competitors, people in the same profession, trying to eliminate the competition. So you've got to have a reasonable belief. Reasonable makes sense to attorneys, it doesn't make sense to doctors. You've got to have some evidence that there's something clinical to be investigated, not just purely an economic motivation. Two, you have to have a reasonable effort to obtain the facts of the matter. You've got to have some sort of an investigation. Now that's kind of a sliding scale. It varies depending on how bad the incident is and how hard it is to investigate. After adequate notice and hearing procedures are afforded the physician involved, or after such other procedures are enacted as are fair to the physician under the circumstances. So before you can take action and have immunity under HCQIA, the doctor that you're the subject of the peer review has to have a fair hearing. We'll talk about that more. There has to be a reasonable belief that the action was warranted by the facts known after such a reasonable effort to obtain the facts and after meeting the requirements of paragraph 3, the one we just talked about. This is important because the type of action you're having to conduct peer review for may vary, and how much investigation and how much time you have to spend on it will also vary based on the facts and circumstances. So if you've got a horrible case outcome in the operating room, it may require that the doctor's privileges be suspended immediately. Whereas if it's a disruptive physician that's used foul language in front of patients and visitors and stuff like that, it may not require emergency suspension. But it's got to be appropriate for the action.